Hi, welcome to Business Over Coffee. I'm Shelley, founder and CEO of Business Over Coffee International. We appreciate you joining us today. Our topic today is the educated entrepreneur. Is that you? Stay tuned and you'll find out.
Welcome back. I'm Shelley Baur, co-host of BOCI TV with Sherry Henley, and today for the Educated Entrepreneur we have a wonderful first guest, Alandis Dobbins with Moore, the Mayor's Office of the City of Memphis. And Alandis and I have been friends for a very long time. You were hearing us talk about this in the beginning. We were both early presidents of the Memphis chapter of the National Association of Women Business Owners, and
also known as NAWBO.
NAWBO, yes. And Alandis is not only like a little sister to me. I mean, she is a rock star who has really taken her career to whole new limits.
And you're absolutely right. In fact, Alandis, I had the unique opportunity and the honor of interviewing you right after you launched the Moore Initiative with Mayor A.C. Wharton's office.
Yes.
And I would like for you to tell us what that means, the acronyms, Moore, M-O-R-E.
Yes.
Take us on that journey.
Well, Shelley, Sherry, first of all, thank you all so much for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure getting to know Shelley all of these years. She's one of my mentors and awesome woman, and so good to get to know you as well.
And she's mine too.
So we've got some commonalities already.
That's right.
But Moore is a brand new program in our city. Very excited to be able to be a part of it. It's the Memphis Office of Resources and Enterprise, started by Mayor Wharton a year and a half ago. And it was an answer to a request from the citizens. What does our government have that can offer entrepreneurs? People who are in the ideation phase, people who are experienced entrepreneurs who want to open their businesses or grow their businesses. And so we are a resource office that pulls together all the different resources that our city and our government has to offer for its citizens.
Yes, and for those who are watching, we are located in Memphis, Tennessee. So this is strictly for the Memphis area, not necessarily the tri-state area, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. But you know, I take this approach that we are one area, and so it's great to be able to work with each other. And
Collaboration.
And
I love that word.
Yes. So if you come to our office and you're not necessarily a Memphis business, we're still going to provide you those resources that you need to be successful.
That's excellent.
So where are you physically located, Alandis?
We're located at 700 Adams, which is close to downtown, and so we take clients there, and our website will be up and running soon as well. So we can talk about that a little later. But we take appointments at our website, at our office, and are able to work with clients that way and refer clients.
So can you take us through the process? Let's say I am a hot shot who's still at the university, and I'm so excited, I'm doing some stuff on Facebook, and now I want to get serious. Like, I don't have a business permit yet. Can you walk us through what the process would be like working with Moore?
Most definitely. So you call our office. Our number is area code 901-544-1847. You make an appointment at our office, and it's an actual very hands-on experience when we're working with clients. We've taken the first year to kind of pull all of the resources together, meet with the different resources, find out their processes that are in place to be able to help grow your business. And so when we sit with the client, we do an intake form. You don't necessarily have to bring a business plan or any of those things. You just need to have that idea, or you can have an experienced business, and we sit and we talk. And from those particular conversations allows us to figure out what direction we can best provide the resources. It may be a business plan that you're needing, it may be loans or being small business loans, and so we've been able to research and find in our community where those resources are, and we have found most of the partners who don't charge a fee. It's already part of your taxpayer dollar.
Sure. So what I'm hearing you say, Alandis, is there's no fee most of the time for the entrepreneur who is coming to you for these resources.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's a wealth of knowledge, just knowing that. And I have to have a drum roll breaking news, because you just invited BOCI to be one of your resources.
Without a doubt.
Thank you so much, and we gladly accept. So that will be coming down the pike. I would like to segue into the topic of today, which is the educated entrepreneur. Of course, we have formal education, and Shelley, I would like you to elaborate on that. We have the University of Memphis that has the entrepreneurship program. We've worked with Francis Fabian there. So elaborate on the process of the universities, then we'll move into more of the self-help type of entrepreneur.
Well, the processes depend, whether it's the University of Memphis or CBU or Rhodes or even community college, Southwest Tennessee Community College. One of the more popular things these days for the younger upcoming generation is do 2 years at community school and then transfer. But it depends, you know, school to school. I'm most intimately familiar with the University of Memphis Fogelman College of Business and Economics. I've been involved with the Mile Mentoring Program there since its founding about 6 years ago, and I served on the advisory council for the deans for about 10 years after my presidency in SME and NABO. So that's probably, you know, the best thing to do is go to the websites, and for people who are watching today to be able to investigate what's available. It doesn't have to be, it used to be if you wanted to get a master's degree, you had to really focus on only school, and now of course they're flexing to be able to accommodate the schedules of people.
Right, so what happens to the person that goes to college for a short period of time, or maybe doesn't go to college? Maybe there's a life issue that comes up and it keeps them from pursuing that at that time. Because we know we have the rest of our lives, so education never ends. However, there are times when people need to launch out on their own, and I've had the opportunity to be able to do that. We look at Facebook and how that was started, and we look at these incredible college students that are all getting together in their dorms, and they're making these innovative businesses. So what happens in that process? What's the motivating factor? I know the answer, but I'd like to hear the answers that you all have as professionals.
Sure, so I'll start. We're in a new age. The internet and this wealth of information that we have at our fingertips on your smartphone, with your devices, it allows you to be able to have self-education at a place and a time that's so different for us than ever before in the history of our existence. And so you're able to have a young gentleman who started Tumblr at 17 or however, you know, whatever age he was.
Before he ever went to college, right?
Before he ever went to college. And he was able to sell that business for $1 billion.
And that just happened.
It just happened in the last couple of weeks, and so a couple of days. So we're at a new day and time in our society where you don't have those limits necessarily on you anymore. Whether you've finished college or want to go back and get a degree, you can do it on that internet in your evening hours and have a full-time job and do so, preparing yourself to be able to be a business owner.
Regardless of your age.
Doesn't matter.
I have a very dear friend of mine that's my mother's best friend. She's my mother's age, and she's now going back to school online.
And the encouragement, particularly coming out of the economic sector we've just been in, and you've got a lot of people who've been able to create new jobs, it's very encouraging, and we want Memphis to be more innovative, and we want Memphians to explore their dreams and their passions and be able to have support for their dreams and passions to open their businesses. And so that's why this resource office was created. And we take businesses that are seasoned or businesses that are new, and we help them to be able to grow from where they are.
one of the things that I'd like to add to the conversation is, even if someone is not reading the commercial appeal every day, the resources that are available every single week, James Dowd is doing, here's what's available for the entrepreneur, and many of them are free. Also, getting back to organizations like the National Association of Women Business Owners, the Sales and Marketing Society of Memphis, Talk Shop on
Which
a
is
weekly,
the SAM that you just mentioned a moment ago.
SME, yeah, it used to be Sales and Marketing Executives of Memphis,
Okay.
and now it's the Sales and
Yes.
Marketing Society. And they have great programs.
We have Talk Shop, we have BNI, we have networking in Memphis, and these are all incredible resources. And so you bring all of that together. In fact, behind us says bringing everyone together. That's our mission at Business Over Coffee International. So it's fabulous to be able to link with sources like you, Alandis, with the MORE initiative. And one of the things I wanted to touch on as we wrap up on this segment is the initiative you have to work with women and minority business owners.
Yes, yes. This office was created specifically to help grow women business owners, minorities, which are African Americans, Asians, the full gamut, because typically those business owners fall in the small business owner category. And our city being 52% women and roughly 68% minority or African American, Asian, Indian, so on and so forth. A large Hispanic, large African American population. We've got to look to being more entrepreneurial. Right. That's the backbone of our city, and it's a way to help lower our crime by employing more people. And so, yes, this office is specifically geared to help grow. Yes. And, you know, of course, being a past president of NABO and loving NABO, this is part of my passion to really help us grow in our city.
Well, I feel like I've grown up because I know you're a former president of NABO, the National Association of Women Business Owners. I believe I got that right.
You got it absolutely right.
Okay, great. And you are a former president, and I just got invited to be on the board. So I feel like I've grown up now.
Yes, awesome.
Right here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Congratulations.
So one question I have for both of you, starting with you, Shelley, is what does an entrepreneur mean to you, an educated entrepreneur?
Well, you've heard me say so many times that school's never out for the pro. So whether you're a professional in a corporation who has not yet made the break to entrepreneurship, or if you're battling the windmills every day as an entrepreneur, you know, we've got to keep learning, we've got to keep growing, and that's one of the reasons I was so attracted to BOCI, because I can't set aside every Thursday morning to be able to come by, but you are taking your education and putting it online so that people can activate it by link, so 24/7 you can go on demand and access what you're doing in the areas of media, what you're doing in the areas of education from top people in the city and outside the city. You've had Bob Berg and, you know, anyway. So all of that, to have access to it, it's like we just have to keep growing and pushing.
Yes, that is absolutely right. Never leaving a day without learning one thing, at least one new thing that you learned during that day. And wrapping up, your definition of an entrepreneur.
Oh, you know, I say that entrepreneurs are a different breed. I kind of call us that, we're that odd, funny bird.
Well, there's a blessing and a curse in being
all
creative.
All at the same time.
There you go.
So if you have that inkling in your blood and, you know, you don't quite fit in always and you want to try your hat at it, I say that educated entrepreneur is the one that takes that initiative, burns the midnight oil, learning on websites such as BOCI and other websites, the SBA, to help you be prepared and educated.
Being
the Small Business Administration, which is a federal.
Viewers.
And they have classes that help to teach you how to start your business, how do you hire, how do you have your legal structure, how do you pay your taxes. Those are all very critical classes that you can take in your living room. And they're for free. They're free on that website. And so that educated entrepreneurs.
I can see why you are the more facilitator, because you have more information. I mean, we could go on for a long time, I'm sure, with the resources. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And Shelley, my co-host, we will be back after this commercial break. Thank you for joining us. Stay right where you are.
My name is Alex. I wanted to be an actor, but then I got involved in the wrong crowd, the wrong people, made bad choices. I became a bad actor. But then I noticed Rising Fire Productions, and they made me the actor I am today. Since then, I've been able to get auditions and book roles. Thank you, Rising Fire.
If you see the signs of bad acting in yourself or someone you love, please don't wait until it is too late. Call Rising Fire for help today.
Welcome back to Business Over Coffee. We are here with our co-host, Shelley Baur, along with communications expert, Terry Murphy. Welcome to Business Over Coffee.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Great to be among such great ladies.
Well, thank you. And we feel the same. And our topic is still the educated entrepreneur. And Shelley, you have a nickname for Terry.
Oh, I call her the serial entrepreneur. This is a woman who reinvents herself. I don't know how many. I haven't known her all her life.
Like Madonna, but not nearly as much money involved in the process. But yeah, well, I'll tell you something about entrepreneurial. My father early, you know, we had all those kids, and he was a corporate guy. And whenever there was a corporate shift, of course, you always have that loss. Well, he lost his job with 9 kids. So I had no faith in the corporate level thing. And so I have been almost an entrepreneur my entire life. And about reinvention, it's always about reading the market, and it's always about serving the need. So when you serve from the heart, from the need, then you know you can be successful, but you always...
Supply and demand.
It is supply and demand, but you know the market changes all the time, and you know we have 4 generations working side by side in the market today, which means the marketing message, the connection, the core values and preferences are completely different for each group.
Sure.
So as an entrepreneur, if you're really connected to your market, you're listening, and we've never had better tools to listen than we do today.
That is absolutely right, because you can get on the internet and you can be around the world within 60 seconds.
We call it being global but hyper-local. And you need to write that down in your head somewhere. Hyper-local means that even though you have a global presence, you have a global digital footprint, so to speak, you still are only going to be able to sell to someone who is so vertical, which is so hyper-local, that they want you and or your product. And so what I like to say for entrepreneurs is, people say, well, oh, you know, there's so much going on the internet, and I do this and I do that. They act like it's buying exercise equipment. You know, we have a bike, and then we have the elliptical, and then we have the treadmill. And as if sleeping in the same room is going to get them in shape. There has to be a plan, and the plan is around a formula. And the formula is pretty simple. We used to think it was content. Remember, the algorithms and search engine was about content. So if you were selling cupcakes, there was lots of information about cupcakes. It had to change, because the Yellow Pages has a lot of content. But you don't need it, and most of the people under 30 don't even know what they are.
That is a great story. My husband pulled one out the other day, and I said,
wow.
I haven't seen Yellow Pages in forever.
Yeah, they only use them now in rehab because they use them as steps. But clearly, if you have a context for wanting something, then you would go to a place for resource. Then from there, it becomes relevant. How relevant is it? So as an example, if you were hungry, and it was a Saturday and you didn't want to cook, you'd say, well, how about a pizza, right? And so you would find the context of a pizza somewhere, whether you used a Yellow Pages or not. I use Yellow Pages because there's a ton of content in there, but it's not relevant to you unless you need it. And then there's the voice. Do you want a local guy? Are you going to do Domino's? Are you going to do Caesars? That's the voice. And then you get the engagement, which is either the buy or the community. So for an entrepreneur, if you're trying to connect with your clients, customers, association members, or whatever, it's content versus context into relevance, has voice, then they buy. And that's it always goes in that direction. So we've been able to broadcast, and now we're into narrowcasting that message so that it's only people who want the neighborhood pizza.
Sure. You target through, would that be done through meta tags?
Meta tags are kind of was the earlier version. Now we're into Google Knowledge, because you could put a whole bunch of meta tags about pizza or cupcakes or whichever.
Right.
And then the search engines had to get smarter than we got to outsmart the people that were abusing the system.
Right.
So now you're really more into really a full digital presence. And so think about a foot, okay, because that has toes. And so you have different channels to create that footprint. And the footprint has to be designed about who you are and what you do. What you do better than who you are, because today's Gen X and Gen Y, which is the largest buying percentage of our marketplace, it's irrelevant about experience until such time that they connect with you, and then they want to be sure. The experience is secondary to, do you have what I need? Is it at the right price? Do I have interest in, can I have it now?
Right, right.
So it really has you're looking at a different context, but meta tags don't work as well as, and believe it or not, you're not going to believe this, but it's about video.
Oh, I do
we
believe
do
that.
believe it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
video, the experience, it's all about the experience. And we talk about the
love that.
experiential economy. It is about experience. And so Gen X and Gen Y particularly want to see behind that shroud. Who is the company? And one of my favorite companies is a company called 4imprint.com. And they sell premiums, cups,
Oh.
pens, those little things that you get. If you go to the site, and it has billions of pages because there's so many premiums there, the first thing you're going to notice is that there's this video right there, and it's the president. And he's in an open collar, and he says, hi, and you get to see who the president is right out of the box.
So he connects, he humanizes
He gives
business, correct?
you the credibility of who's behind the helm. And then the most searched page of all of the pages that are on that website, which it has to be 20,000 pages, is their charity. They have a charity page. And what it says is, this is who they've served and who they've helped. And now you've got all the algorithms searching those charities as well as their page. Because we have that big of a website, think about how their positioning
Social
is.
responsibility.
So when I counsel entrepreneurs, as a consultant, I say to them, what do you want to be known as? And a lot of people go, no. Give me, I hate to say the elevator speech, but tell me what you do and who you do it for in a small period of time. And then I can decide if I want more of you.
Right.
Okay. And when you start thinking about the power of the channels, LinkedIn is the business to business. Most people think it's a referral thing. It's so much more than that.
Yes.
It's recruiting, it's positioning. You get into Facebook, business pages. You get into Twitter being a news feed. You get into the blog, and you think if you just post lots of blog, especially about making this particular product or this service, that you would get search engine optimization. You will get it from your video, because YouTube, according to Cisco and Mashable, is the 800-pound gorilla for education. The most searched words are how to. And so
now they're in conjunction with Google.
Well, Google owns them.
Well, they own them. And when
exactly.
they bought them, they realized that they had volumes of stupid videos as well as good videos. And so they wanted to create think about a marketplace like a grocery store. So when you walk in, there's a meat department, and there's a fruit department and a bakery department. Essentially the same kind of platform for YouTube. So you've got you've got your channel, just like NBC or ABC, and then under that you've got your playlists.
Right.
So your playlist might be your testimonials. It might be you in the media. It might be your how-to and resource.
Right.
Your video zines. Tell me what you do and how you do it and who you do it for. And it's not about, hi, I've been in the banking business for 150 years, because to somebody who's a Gen X, that just means you're old. and it's more about, if you are concerned about the many then here's a short report, or these are the things we found for our company.
And Shelley, would you take us into the educated entrepreneur that is just getting started and share the wealth of knowledge between you and Terry?
Oh my goodness. Well, the person who's just getting started just feels like they got in front of a fire hydrant and the hoses blasted them away. To break it down to what Terry said, you've got to start with a plan. They've got to get clear about who they are, whom they serve, what the outcomes are. And just as you're going to do it for a big company, they need to do it for themselves. Terry would be the perfect person for them to talk to get some consulting.
Yes. And Terry, how do they do that?
Well, Terry at terrymurphy.com with an I. Otherwise, you get the guy with the mustache. We have the Women's Wisdom Network, in case you happen to be a female entrepreneur. And that's the Women's Wisdom Network.info at the moment.
And that's here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
Is that also international?
Yes. We did a program in the Middle East. We do a program in Singapore. We don't care. Entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs. And
Absolutely.
I applaud people who take control.
Yes.
But like anybody, we spend so much time working in the business that we need to work on the business. And you absolutely hit it on there. You have to have a business plan.
And everybody needs a coach. I mean, no matter
Everybody
how
needs a
good you
coach.
are, we all need to have accountability. We all need to have a sounding board, a mastermind group, whatever. So
You've got to have outside energy. You just have to.
Well, as we wrap up, I would like for you to touch on the book that's coming out, and you also co-authored a book with the Donald Trump.
That makes me so special, doesn't it?
So wrap that up for us.
Well, the book I'm working on now is interesting because it deals with communication and the interviewing process. Now think about that. No matter what, if you're interviewing a car, to buy a car, you're interviewing an employee, or you're being interviewed. Structured interviewing, behavioral structured interviewing is the way to go because it is a process of asking questions that reveal past behavior, which is a very strong and positive indicator of future behavior. And so I'm writing a book with Dr. Paul Green, and I said, why can't we apply that to finding a mate?
I like that.
Because women are so emotional. When we wrote the 1 Minute Negotiator, and I
Yes.
wrote the segment for women, I realized that women had such high adaptability and such intuition that they didn't look at logic. And so, if he's wearing an ankle bracelet, it could be a signal. And so,
You're from Chicago, right?
if you hadn't noticed, no, seriously, I mean, there are signals that we will
Yes.
we will overlook because of certain reasons. So all I'm saying is you can still fall in love and be wildly romantic and gooey, but you have this little core value and preference thing that says, is this a lifetime, good, long-term commitment, whether it's hiring an employee, taking a job, or picking a mate.
I love that.
or starting a business.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Terry Murphy, the communications expert, along with Shelley Baur, my co-host for today on Business Over Coffee. You can find Shelley at shelleybaur.com. That is SHELLEYBAUR.com. Also at integritybasedcommunications.com, which is a book that she put out. You need to get that as well. And I am Sherry Henley. We are wrapping up on this episode of Business Over Coffee. It's been very exciting to talk about the educated entrepreneur. I invite you to visit our website at businessovercoffee.com, and we would love to see you there on your complimentary profile. What do? We work with professionals who want to optimize 3 things: social media, educational exchange, and networking events. We are bringing everyone together for more connections, collaboration, exposure, and business. And you are one of those people. Until next time, God bless.